One.
One, yeah.
So one map of Assault all season long.
Exactly.
Blank.
So I think that definitely, like you said, is the weak link for Blank. But maybe not as weak as it looks on paper. So we're expecting, or at least hoping, that I suppose Blank would win here on Control, and then Athletico would win on Assault, and then we get a 2-2 split between Escort and Hybrid. And then we get to the tiebreaker map.
Yeah, because they're pretty even for the rest of it. To be fair, Athletico is 50-50 on Control as well, so it's going to end up on one side of that 50% as we play Control for the 5th time here. Let's see how this starts off. Blank going to be on the point to start this through. Both teams will have a Reinhardt, so we won't be seeing a repeat of what happened last time around. But with Nellery going down first, is this going to go in Athletico's favor now?
I think it might. Main tank down, such a big pick. USMC then starts to really clean up with the Xayah. He'll eventually drop to Tung, but with no main tank, there's no one to keep your entire team alive behind that shield. And it is just free reign for Athletico to get so much chip damage in, which is then followed up, of course, as they all charge in and land on top of Blank Esports. Great start for Athletico. Gob up to 91%, Sol onto the self-destruct. Really got to keep that main tank alive here as Blank.
Gob already has that Earth Shatter available as well. So quickly throws it out. I don't even think that hits anyone. Was he? I'm not even sure how that played out in the way that it did. It's not going to be the result that Athletico wanted that time around. And as a result, or as a consequence, perhaps, Blank will be able to find the kills there. Athletico going to drop. The point swaps back across to them at 38%. A fight they probably should not have been able to win.
We'll just blame that one on lag, shall we? Athletico won't be too pleased with that, but it's all right. They only used the Earth Shatter in that fight. I think as soon as the Earth Shatter didn't connect, they were like, all right, well, this fight's lost, and let's just go ahead and let the wipe happen, and we'll try to recontest the point. But flipped maybe a little earlier than Blank might have expected, and they themselves have got quite a lot to play with in this one. Admittedly, an extra support ultimate for Athletico does give them a little bit of survivability in this fight that Blank doesn't have, and an early sound barrier, which isn't followed up so much.
Graviton Surge with the self-destruct coming through, looking for a big play, and Noz will find 3 kills, and Ozol going to jump off the edge as well. Unfortunately, the kill will go across the tails, and I think the charge did come through, didn't it, onto the Reinhardt. Makes life tough to defend against a self-destruct in that kind of situation. It's
been a good contest so far between Athletico and Blank, that is for sure. The one saving grace from that fight is that it was only Eevee that used the sound barrier there for Athletico, and it was a good sound barrier, but obviously doesn't do much against the self-destruct. Now Athletico have 5 ultimates here. This is where they want to flip it back, and this is where they should be able to. Good.
Shadow will actually capture the tank out. Almost going to get booped off as well. Graviton Surge now from Athletico. Self-destruct into the middle. Not sure if it's going to find a kill. Well, we'll find Cura. And with Nellery going down as well, that should be it. The fight should theoretically go the way of Athletico here. They'll bring it back and stop it at probably 80-odd%. It'll be theirs now to try and bring back that remaining 60% to get them closer to 100. Still a bit of work to be done, and it's pretty clear, Jordan, that these two teams are very close.
Yeah, we're expecting a close matchup here. And so far, that's exactly what has been delivered. It's only round 1 of the first map as well. Blank need to take a couple of economic fights here to build their ults up and just go for that one final fight win that they really need to tick it back over. Roro does have the grab, and if they can get self-destruct up in time, they might go for that to try and force a fight earlier. There's the sound barrier, though.
Shadow comes through. That's a good one. Tails almost down. Finally get picked up there by Money. Might see Blank fall back. Micro finds one as well. Roro just grabs one back, but it won't really make a difference in this kind of scenario. Not so sure about Tung. Getting caught up in the palm trees.
Well, that's a very nice fight for Athletico. Just the Earth Shatter in from them.
Trying to collect a coconut or something.
Coconuts are dangerous.
Maybe that's what he throws. Gonna try and push through once more. Roro gonna throw the grab into the middle. She said up to 98% now, Jordan. Someone needs to get onto the point.
Kura got it, I think, but he's down now. Overtime ticking away. The fight is definitely leaning towards Athletico right now. Transcendence isn't going to be enough to salvage it. The Graviton Surge comes just as Transcendence ends as well.
Yeah.
And Earth Shatter as well onto Tung, just for good measure, just for that extra bit of BM out from Gob. And that'll be the first round over to Athletico. 100% to 80. Very close indeed.
Yeah, Lighthouse going the way of Atletico to kick things off. We're looking for who's going to make second in the group. Who is going to get stuck with third. Head across to Ruins. It was close, though. Was close. Potential for a very tight matchup here between these two teams. As, to be fair, one would expect considering how they've gone this season. I'm glad that we get to see the decider as the decider, I suppose.
Well, that's good scheduling.
Yeah, well done. Good job.
Whoever made the schedule.
Yeah. Unless it was Peter, in which case.
Yeah. Mirror match once again, as both teams running with goats. Blank did experiment quite a bit early on in the season with some different rosters, but this is where they're really taking it super seriously now.
Oh, look at that.
Pin.
Great work from Nellery. Going to charge him down. But with Money going to find the kill actually there onto the Reinhardt. And Atletico going to find this first fight, going to find themselves the point by the looks of things too. Great start from them.
Yeah, the difference there is just Money. He's absolutely charged that ult so quickly. Look at that, 80%. Tung's only at 37%. Everyone else has kind of put equal amounts of damage into that fight, but Money, what a difference he's made. Yes, Zol as well has quite a bit of an advantage over Noz, who did get DMAC'd pretty early on in the piece, to be fair. But once again, an advantage for Atletico when we were saying that their weakness was control.
Throws out the Earth Shatter, has no effect. Unfortunately, Curry going to go down to Eevee. The battle of support's going to go across to Atletico for now, and they continue in that fashion, finding 2 more picks. Make that 3, sorry.
Noz going to get DMAC'd? No, not quite. That would have been unfortunate.
Yeah, that would have not been great.
He's at 64% of the ult, so he wouldn't have wanted to swap off to swap back on. So definitely not a good time for him, but he does survive okay.
3 for 3 ultis. The rally going to come out. Look at this. Atletico throwing for the hole-in-one. Finds Tails. Comes back out now the other way. The question is, do they have the damage to follow it out? Nellery dives on in, but will get traded.
Yeah, threw out the Earth Shatter as well, Ben, and it didn't do too much. Gob's really low here, but being supported well by his team. Eventually he'll go down, but it does not matter. As Blank unable to really follow up on that kill. They invested so much to kill Gob that by the time that he was down, they were done. Once again, we're going to see a reset. 72% up now for Atletico. Remember, Ben, we were saying that Control was a map that Atletico have struggled on a little bit more so compared to the others. So to see them looking so confident here.
Yeah, it's been very impressive, hasn't it? It's definitely like the first round was tight. This one has not been as much. Looking for a big self-destruct. Sound barrier comes through. Blank throwing absolutely everything they've got into this final fight here, potentially on Ruins. But it's going to be tough. And as you say, that Money picks up Nellery, then pops the trans. Noz goes down.
Tung's 98% and he gets it, but it's at the wrong time. His entire team is dead. Like I said, the Transcendence was going to be the difference there for Atletico, and it was. Money, perfectly timed Transcendence. I think there's been a great round played out from him in particular. And unfortunately for Tung, you know, you're at that point where you know that you're going to get the ultimate, but you just feel like it's going to come too late. And unfortunately, that is exactly what happened. So 2-0 for Atletico on Ilios. And that's a little bit of a spicy start to the series,
Yeah, that was a good one, wasn't it? That was a very interesting start. Maybe a slow day in the office here for Blank. Maybe just, you know, sometimes we do see Control go in a weird direction, you know, based on when it's played, and maybe not warm or whatever the case may be. But you can't afford to do that in this type of scenario.
Definitely not, especially when you have such a poor track record on some of the maps to come here as Blank. If we're talking about Assault, Horizon Lunar Colony and Hanamura have not been kind on them. So, you know, you don't want to write it off. You don't want to say, okay, that's going to be a map win for Atletico, but chances are that Atletico are going to have a better chance. So if you look at it that way, then it's looking a little bit precarious already for Blank, because this was supposed to be the map that they would get a bit of an advantage on to counteract the Assault. But we'll see how things go. It's not the end of the series, of course.
No.
And so far, Blank almost.
Look at that. Nellery got the charge there as well. And you would have thought that in that scenario, Nellery would have come out on top, but it was not the case.
Not the case.
No.
Gob, again, being supported very, very well by his team.
Good bubble.
Yeah, what I was saying is that when we go on to the next point of contention, which is going to be the hybrid maps, both teams 75% win rate, so really at that point it's like kind of anyone's game. I think we'll probably go on to Hollywood.
Yeah,
Ben,
they both seem to prefer Hollywood.
Yeah, but like it's really a toss-up when it comes to this next map, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be close, but the first round was close-ish. The second round definitely not close, but let's go and take a look at what our second map will be. Numbani, Jordan. This is...
It's an interesting choice from Blank because they predominantly have been playing Hollywood. And to be fair, they haven't been the ones that have been choosing hybrid. Well, that's what I want to know.
When we say that they have won 3, lost 1, that one you would have to assume would have been against the Drop Bears.
I would say so.
So they would have picked Numbani against the Drop Bears as the time when
after
they get
losing
to... correct. So
you're probably right. So this, I mean, maybe not an entirely surprising pick from Blank, but to be fair, they have got 3 matches played on Hollywood. They have won 3 times as well on it, so you could make an argument.
To be fair, 3 teams, I suppose that they feel like they are superior.
Probably. Anyway, regardless of what map it is going to be, both teams have played this map this season. Both should be fairly ready for it. The map pool is not so big. What?
The cancer flights, mate.
Sydney Airport's not that bad.
Nah, it's pretty bad. Let's get into the action. Athletico on attack, Blank on defense. Athletico having picked this side. This will be interesting for sure.
Tails doing a bit of scouting here.
Yeah.
We'll just back away.
Yeah.
It's Roro on Farah. Does very much enjoy this hero. But USMC on the McCree. Quite deadly in his own right. Unfortunately, no May yet. Oh, that's a fantastic
see you later. Booped off the edge and taken down by Blank. That's a great start coming out from their money. The only one doing any sort of work, unfortunately, there for Athletico. But Blank, a great start. And they're going to be starting to charge these ultimates up as well. It's what they need. Looking potentially for a good hold on the first point as well.
Couldn't really start off any better there for Blank, could it? Especially when you consider Roro with this rocket barrage should be able to shut down the next fight. There won't be too much to deal with it, especially if they get the defense matrix down first, get the mech down first, and it's all onto USMC and money at that point, but they're not going to have an opportunity. No chance at all, Roro!
Wow.
Is that an entire team wipe? Not quite. Money and Eevee survive, but goodness me, it might as well have been.
Yeah. Great work. Great work. Big plays coming out from Roro, and Blank looking really quite impressive here on defense.
Yeah, we've heard about Roro with the Dragon Blade. How about Roro with the Rocket Barrage?
What about Roro with the Dragon Barrage or the Rocket Blade? That's what I really want to see.
Rocket Blade.
Yeah, that would be a good one. I'm waiting for that ability to come out.
Oh, he's so annoying, isn't he, with these concussive blasts? Money almost goes down. Eevee does go down.
Yeah.
Athletico need to find a way to deal with Roro.
It's all Roro right now.
Roro your boat all the way back to spawn.
I chose not to say that, Jordan. But I guess you can take it instead if you really want it. Atletico struggling right now on attack. They've already used up a couple of minutes. Not looking any better, to be perfectly honest. And they haven't really had these ultimates either. Money finally going to have Transcendence available, but the question is now the time to use it? Deadeye going to come out from USMC, does find Tails. Not sure if that's enough, to be honest. Probably would have loved to find Roro as well. You got to try and get onto the point. Trans will come out from Tang. And Roro again has this barrage. This time doesn't find anyone with it, but does manage to find money anyway. Micro's gone down. The fight will go in favor of Blank. And now 80 seconds on the clock. Jeez. Athletico running out of time.
Oh, Roro is doing so much work right now. And no one seems to be able to challenge him at all. I mean, we've still got EMP available here for Tails. He went down so early in that fight to the Deadeye. USMC's decided he doesn't even want to stay on the McCree. He's going to get that little bit of extra survivability out of the Zarya, trying to keep his team alive as well with the bubbles. But Athletico, have they given up way too much tempo here? It definitely seems like it. Gob needs a big Earth Shatter, but how's he going to get a big Earth Shatter? Everyone's on the high ground. He's not going to be able to hit anyone. And Roro almost has another Rocket Barrage.
Look at this, Gob charges right on through with the bubble. EMP available and used almost immediately.
Ooh,
USMC going to be the first pick. Zol comes through, finds 2. Is this the 2 that Athletico needed, Jordan, to get back into this round, find themselves onto the payload? Punt picked up by Kura. Roro throws out the barrage.
He's so good.
Whoa, see ya. 3 down, big plays. Roro having a fantastic game here as Farah. And, well, you can see why they picked Numbani, can't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Roro just having an absolute field day on Farah. It was a pretty nice combo out from Athletico, but it's not nearly going to be enough.
Gob swapped across to get onto the point, but it's going to be trickle from here on out. And one would expect that there's very little that they can do, even with a Farah of their own. And it's going to be a full hold here on point A coming out from Blank. Very impressive on Numbani. Athletico going to have a lot of pressure on them to do the same. Otherwise, it's going to be 1-1 heading into half-time. Look, if I go through our stats, Jordan, we can see as well that this must have been the map that Athletico also picked up against the Drop Bears.
Yeah, I would have to assume so.
So they both obviously wanted to play this the one time that they did get to pick a second map. So,
yeah. Well, you know what I want to see is I want to see Micro now on Farah on the defense for Athletico trying to do the same thing, because
good luck.
Would be nice to see a bit of that as well.
It's the sort of thing that, again, 12 months ago I would have put in Micro's court to be the one to beat in this scenario.
Exactly.
But what Roro came out with there was so impressive, so very one-sided. It's going to be difficult to one-up that.
Well, it is indeed, especially when you're on Brigitte. It doesn't really lend itself towards flashy plays like the Farah does. For Blank, if Roro and Tails are going to stay with the Genji and the Sombra, they're probably going to be looking for a bit more of a dive composition here. Winston out for Nellery. I don't suspect that Tung is going to be staying on the Wrecking Ball here. I mean, you need just one tick right now for Blank, so I think dive is not a bad choice. You just dive in, get rid of the supports, win the fight from there. We know that Blank are pretty good with the dives. I mean, especially Roro has been a standout with the Genji in previous seasons, and even in this season when we saw him play Genji earlier on, it was pretty impressive stuff. So I think that's definitely a good option for Blank if they do decide to go for it. For Athletico, just running Goats on the defense. It is the Winston Goats variant, of course, which is going to give them a little bit more control of the high grounds. But realistically, I don't know that it's going to give you that much ability to full hold here and to force it into a tie on Numbani. I just don't see it happening right now for Athletico, to be honest. I think that there's too much of a pick chance right now for Blank onto Money or onto Eevee or something like that.
They don't need to do much, do they, Jordan? That's the real talk.
It doesn't even need to happen in 1 or 2 or 3 fights.
One slip up across
one small
4
mistake.
minutes. Yeah.
You're going to have 5 or 6 fights that Blank can play with here, but they've decided to go back to Goats. Okay, fair enough. A little disappointing, to be honest, but that's all right.
Alas, we've been fooled and disappointed once again. Yet it's okay. Blank, you play how you want to play. Looking for 33%, 1 tick here on Objective A. And already, Gob looking low.
Well,
but it's Nellery, the first one to go down.
That's basically the worst possible thing that could have happened for Blank, unfortunately. Because now they're kind of stuck behind the point as well.
Yes, they are.
So it's like they can't even really link up with Nellery, but similarly, they can't do much from back here because it's a 5v6. They don't have the high ground. They're literally just wasting time right now. I don't see a way that Blank actually makes this work.
For your Reinhardt to come back?
I don't know. Maybe Reinhardt can just charge on the point. Roro can give him a bubble, and they will be able to do it from there.
I guess.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to get in through the low ground. So this is okay, but they're so out of position. I'll be surprised if they win this fight.
You see the charge coming in across the screen. The question is who goes down first. Micro actually very low. Roro going to find that kill. Blank looking like they're in a good position right now, trying to follow it up with one more Tails low as well. Will it be Brigitte for Brigitte? No, it's Gob who goes down next. This could be enough here for Blank to pick up the point. Trans coming out now for both teams. Money first, followed up by Tung. It means Blank will have theirs for just half a second more. And surely that'll find them 1/3 of a point.
Yeah, definitely looks to be that way. Athletico running on their last legs right now. Already Micro over onto the Doomfist just to try to get to the point earlier. Gob's here, but he's got Primal Rage, so he'll survive. Again, a little bit longer. Doesn't matter at the end of the day, though, as that is going to be the end of the round, and Blank going to equalize it at 1 apiece. What a crazy map that was. Roro, of course, has to take a bow after that. Great stuff. 2 fantastic rocket barrages and just general fantastic Farah play in general. And then the way that Athletico defend and then Blank try to attack and they lose their main tank, and then they're still sort of behind. I would have thought Athletico might try to take advantage of that, take the 5v6, try to wipe them, try to build some ults up, but they don't. And then they let Blank regroup on the point, and then Blank wins. It's like, how has that even played out? I've never seen a game of Numbani play out like that, but there you go. Look,
Jordan, when you've got so much time to work with, you can do almost whatever you want, I suppose. And you're only looking for 33%.
Yep.
It's not often that we see that occur, the full hold on Objective A. Certainly not between two teams of equal skill, but Roro was just far too strong, and I think they gave him too much space for too long. They didn't deal with it well enough. They didn't deal with it quick enough. They didn't commit to fixing the problem. They just thought, surely at some point we'll find a people will do something.
They continued to try and run in with the Reinhardt composition. I think Winston, again, might have been a better choice in the end there for Athletico, but it's so easy to say in hindsight, so easy to say from our position right here as opposed to in the game. But trying to go in with the Reinhardt against a Pharah doesn't give you many opportunities to really do a whole lot to that Pharah, especially when USMC wasn't being able to put too much damage into the Pharah on the McCree and then swaps off onto Zaya, which again even puts less of a threat onto the Pharah. So I think all in all, like Roro had the perfect concoction of multiple things that really allowed him to make that work there on the Pharah on the defense. Not only was he being pocketed, he had a good setup from his team. Atletico continued to try and use avenues of attack that really played into Roro's hands. And in the end, he pulls it off nicely.
Well, guys and girls, it's one apiece here in our last match for Group A in the regular season. The winner of this match gets second place in the group. The loser locks themselves into third. A lot up for grabs right now. We're going to take a very quick break, and when we come back, the decider in this best of 4.